I'm going to do a new series of videos here talking about organization tips and tricks to keep your inbox organized in your email. So for the first video, what we're going to talk about is just sort of a mindset video. So thinking of your inbox as a desktop instead of as a storage place. So when you think about your desktop, you've got whatever you're working on in front of you at the time. And then anything else that you maybe don't need immediately is put away in an organized fashion so that way if you need to find it later, you can find it, but it's not right there in your face all the time, calling your attention away from what you're working on. So let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at some ways to organize your inbox so that it works like a desktop rather than a sort of a dumping ground for information. Okay, so the first three tips I have to help you get started with organizing your inbox is to, number one, set your inbox type to unread first. So this helps on days when you are very busy and get a ton of emails. This will help you kind of pre-organize things a little bit before you start looking at your inbox or when you start looking at your inbox. Number two, um, get into the practice of instead of deleting emails from your inbox, archiving them. Basically, what archiving is kind of like when you take something off your desk and you file it into a cabinet. It's the same concept. You're taking it out of your inbox, but you're not deleting it. It's going to be there. And with our Google Suite for Education accounts, we actually have unlimited storage, so you don't have to worry about running out of space like you might have to if you were in a personal Gmail account. And then the third tip for today that I'd like to talk about is to learn how to use the advanced search feature so that when you file stuff away by archiving it, so when you archive your emails, you can quickly and easily find them. So let's get started. I'm going to show you first how to set your inbox type to unread first. So this is what my inbox looks like on a normal basis. You can see that I have it set to unread first. So at the top of my inbox, I see unread, and then below that, I see everything else. And so any new emails that come in are going to go on my unread file or into my unread up here. And then everything that I've opened but is still sitting in my inbox, so think of like you open a letter and you just set it on the desk because you're going to work on it later, is in my everything else. I know I need to get my mileage done today, so that email is sitting in my inbox right now waiting for me to get that job done. So how do we get your inbox to look like this? Well, the first thing you need to do is find the settings cog in the top right corner of your inbox. When you click on that, you will have all your options, and here is the settings. Settings, it can feel overwhelming because there are a lot of options in here, but for today, we're just going to focus on changing our inbox type. So at the top gray bar up here, you can see all your options, and we're going to choose the one that says inbox here because we want to change our inbox. And for inbox type here, by default, it's set to default, obviously. That doesn't really help you keep your inbox organized. So what I suggest is we switch it over to unread first. That way your inbox is going to show you your emails that are unread at the top. And then underneath in your inbox sections, you can change how many emails sit in each one. So maybe you want to see up to 25 emails in your unread before you see the 10 items in your everything else, the next one down. Once you have that unread first set, you're going to need to click on Save Changes here in the bottom. Mine's grayed out, but yours will be there. Click Save Changes, and then click Inbox. And you should see your inbox has switched to the unread first style. For our second tip today, we're going to talk about archiving instead of deleting emails. All right, so here we are in my inbox again. And for this one, I'm going to show you how to archive an email. So I've got this Apple News email from yesterday I saved. And, let's say I read through it. And now I want to archive this message. So the way you can do that when you're in the email is on the top where you normally would delete it. And I get these tooltips by just hovering over these. right there is the archive. And it kind of looks like, hey, I'm putting this email into a file. So you can click this archive button, and now the email has not been deleted. I can search it. So if I come up to here to my search and say Apple News, enter, there it is, the email I just archived right here. Now, let's say you don't even want to open it, you just want to archive it. I know here's another email from Apple News, and it's probably going to be similar news, so I don't need to read it or I don't have time. I can click archive right here and archive that email directly without even opening it. So that's a quick tip to just help you keep kind of go through. I know during this time especially we're getting a bunch of junk mail, or maybe not junk mail, but just notification type emails. And it's nice to just kind of scan them and clear your inbox out to relieve some of that stress that that piling up email may be causing. And for a third and final tip, learning to use the advanced search feature. This will help you easily find the emails that you've been archiving. Okay, so we're back in my inbox here, and at the top is my search mail. A lot of us use this to search by the subject of the email or by the person who sent the email. If they're in your contacts, you can do first name, last name. If they're not in your contacts, you can do their the first part of their email address, and it'll come up. But let's pretend like you are like, I know it had a certain word in it, or I'm looking for all the emails that had to do with X, Y, or Z. You can search that here. Here on the far right is a little down arrow that creates a drop down. And this gives you the ability to select on or to search on certain features. So, popular things to search on is the to, or is the from, I mean. So if you know it was from somebody specific, you can search by that. Or if you know that email was sent to you and maybe a certain coworker, you can do in the to line. If you know the subject has certain words in it, if you know inside the email it has certain words, and these are and statements. So let's say I want to search for an email from Josh Hayes, and I want to the subject to be, let's say, NWEA, and I want to make sure it also has in it the word data. Um, and then I'm not really worried about the size. There's no attachments. Date. I'm not really worried about a date, so we'll say within the last year. And then search all mail. So all mail would be my inbox, my drafts, everything that I have. And then if I click search, there are 4 emails from Josh Hayes with NWEA in the subject line, and somewhere in the email the word data. So this is a great feature to kind of help you when you start getting where you have a lot of email and you're not using labels to find the emails. Hopefully, utilizing these 3 tips will help you better organize your inbox and stay stress free. Thank you for watching.